Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. G'day from Melbourne, Australia. And this is the third little update on my journey towards my surgery, my procedure regarding my torn meniscus, medial meniscus, and ACL. So, we know already that I had a series of tests and that they called me back because I had to go have two of them done again, and we did that. Anyway, those results came out, well, the haematologist wasn't sort of satisfied with them, so he ran the tests again. And I went off to the pathology place and had the tests again. So the tests are basically focusing on the factor condition in my blood. And what that is that we have different factors like factor 1, factor 2, factor 7, factor 8, and all of these are part of the clotting cascade. That's what they call it, the clotting cascade. And each one supports the next and works with the next in order to have your blood clot, and so that you don't bleed. So I've always had this issue since I was a kid, and of course 30 years ago I had my last ever procedure, and I did bleed a lot, to the point that I believe the procedure I was undergoing was either stopped short or it was completed rather quickly. But I never really got any sort of confirmation of any of that because, of course, parents don't generally let their kids know they may have just bled to death, let's say. Anyway, so let's come back to the day. So on Monday, I had those tests run again, yes, all good. And so those tests were supposed to be couriered off to the lab to be analysed, and because of the time of day, which was late afternoon, instead they were sent via taxi, via cab. And anyway, so on Tuesday morning, I get a call from the pathology call centre, let's say, and I am told that I need to redo 2 of the tests because, oh yes, so that was it. That's all the information I got. But yes, and I needed to do that then, like Tuesday, yesterday, on Tuesday. Yeah. So about an hour or so after that, I got another call from the actual, let's say, consultant from a lovely lady named Gabby who had taken my blood on the Monday, and she said, look, you've got to come back in, and this is the reason why, because when they were couriered, there was the handling of them, let's say, wasn't I'm trying to think of a really big word here, but I'm not even going to try. Yeah, so it wasn't handled properly. Basically what happened was that 2 of the samples the temperature of the samples had dropped considerably, and the test couldn't be run because of that. So they needed to take another 2 tubes or another 2 samples of my blood, and this time it would be couriered appropriately and kept at a consistent temperature where they could be analysed. So that was yesterday. I went in again and had that done. At the same time as I had a needle sticking out of my arm, the hospital that I'm going to called me as a courtesy call. Her name was Kathy. She was really lovely. And she said, I'm calling you just to let you know that you will be required to pay an excess of $500 for your admission, and if you choose to pay by credit card, there will be some sort of surcharge. Yes, okay, fine. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Kathy, for that information. However, last week when I saw the haematologist, he suggested that we delay my surgery. So I'm not even sure whether I've mentioned this in video number 2, but that's what happened, yes? So he said delay my my surgery. Yeah, I think I do remember saying this. In any case, and I said this to Kathy from the hospital, and she said, well, yes, okay, well, you need to confirm that with your surgeon, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Kathy, I replied. And of course hung up, and Gabby, the lady at the pathology collection centre, was done. Like, yep, I didn't even feel that. So that was all good. So checked my little vials and my name and my birthday and all of that sort of jazz. And then, of course, took off, called the surgeon's office on the way home and said, hey, what's going on? Because I thought that the haematologist had conferred with or consulted with the surgeon, which is the office that I was on the phone with. Am I confusing you? I hope not. And, delay in surgery. It was all good. But now I'm getting a call from the hospital saying that, yes, I'm expected there on Friday. What's going on? So the lady at my surgeon's reception said, look, yes, we're going to cancel your surgery, which is, however, the doctor would like to see you on Thursday afternoon to sort of update and reassess you whilst we wait for your Don't you hate it when that happens? You just completely blank. So while we wait for your results. And so that's all good. So yeah. And then this morning, which is Wednesday morning, on the 22nd, it's the 26th today of the 10th, 2016. This morning, haematologist calls me and says, look, we're just waiting on the last of your results to come back, and that particular test is for a condition called von Willebrand Disease. They put this word disease, I'm going to replace that with syndrome, maybe, or just von Willebrand. And it is a part of that factor series, so it is part of the mechanisms in the clotting cascade that allows your platelets to fuse and do their job. So this is like a little anchor, as far as have been able to understand. It's like an anchor in that chain of events of clotting and keeps your blood clotted there in place. So it's all a little bit complex for me as well, even though I have, studied anatomy and physiology, but it's beyond my scope of practice, of course. So that was this morning. So we're definitely, haematologist has said, do not, under any circumstances, have any sort of procedure. This is now shifted from your knee issue to your blood, and we need to investigate it further, so I will be required to undergo further tests. So that means they need more blood. And it's making me feel a little nervous. I'm in a much better mood than I was a little earlier on. I wasn't quite sure exactly how to process all of that, although he did assure me that there's, I'm safe as far as I'm not just going to start, bleeding. I'm safe, it's okay. The knee issue can hold. There are not going to be any sort of long-term issues with that if we just wait until we process this. But it's just really interesting because this is the backstory here that some of you may already be aware of. But we've been waiting 18 months to move into our new home here, a beautiful home, and a place that a time in my life where I can actually call home. I've moved, even like growing up, moved quite a few times in different schools and stuff, and so to finally come to a time in my life where I could actually call home a home, like a house home. I'm going home, rather than in the past where I've said, you know, people going, oh, where are you going? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to Berry Street. Well, what's Berry Street? Well, that's where I live. It's always been the street name, strangely. So as I said, this is a backstory, so I am sharing a little more. So finally here, and it was at this time that I was going to sort of engage the small business that I am involved with. Over a year ago, I wound down my treatment room where I was performing aromatherapy treatments on clients and making up and providing them with wellness preparations, and it was quite involved, and I had some great outcomes from it. I was engaging some amazing people with amazing stories. And in any case, so that I'm back here, well, not back here, but I'm home, and I've sort of been preparing to get back into all of that. Also another little sideline of the business with some product development, so working on that as well. And so I'm sort of one of those character types that likes a nice sort of open space to move forward through. And of course, things are going to happen along the way. And it says, oh, okay, so we deal with that. Oh, yep, and we deal with that, and we move forward. So this time, I've sort of been caught unexpectedly, you know what I'm trying to say. And so yeah, sort of been thrown off balance a little bit. And even at my age, age has nothing to do with your ability to be able to process, assess, deal with, absorb, has no difference. Someone at 21 can process an event in their lives, and the same event could happen to someone in their early 50s, and just because they've lived longer doesn't mean they have that approach or the tools or the life tools to be able to. Right, okay, so we have to wait now and see how things evolve. I think I'm going to get back into, because I was sort of putting things on hold as far as my business is concerned, but I need a distraction. And at the 13-minute mark approaching, I am very grateful that you're still with me here, listening and watching. And so I will, get back into that whilst I wait for these, further tests to develop and see what's going on. We are anticipating the arrival of our furniture mid next month with our 2 dogs who have been away from us for 3 years whilst we have been sort of all over the place really with life, but it's all good. And so I'm looking forward to that. Of course, I'm definitely looking forward to getting this knee back together again eventually, so I can jump, run, just become active again and get things moving. I think I've covered everything with the little extra bits that I've shared. I will get back to my pair and we'll see how we go. So if anyone has experienced any of this sort of thing, please feel free to share. If you want to offer me a thumb, as in thumb, as in, you like, then here on the YouTube platform, of course, you can give me a thumbs up, subscribe, maybe, perhaps, don't know, if you like. And so any suggestions or any of your own experiences or people that please feel free to add them in the comments below. There won't be that much to read down in the description, I don't think. And let's call it cut there, I think. Okay, enjoy your day.